What's up, man? A little settings video here, real quick, man. I dialed this in for a while now, and this is what I got finally feeling right, dude. If you're experiencing jitters or micro stutters or anything like that, man, hopefully this helps you out. Okay, give you a quick view. Look, let's check it out, dude. We're just looking at, smoothness. And to be honest, dude, it's actually really hard to portray on YouTube. You won't see it the same way you'll see it on your monitor. But that being said, um, hopefully you can at least recognize the difference, right? Um, this has been an incredible upgrade, dude, and I'm honestly very picky about smoothness. I don't necessarily prioritize uh, high frame rates like everyone. I am partial to smoothness. All right, so I'm just gonna show you all a few things, man, and let's get it dialed in, dude. So let's head over to graphics, man. Let's just discuss a few things real quick. All right, dude. So for one, these are my go-to settings right now. Okay, and now understand that this is gonna vary, you know, probably drastically depending on your setup, right? But I'm going to share with you a few go-tos that, to be honest, is with any game, and I'm going to show you the difference, um, the major difference in a few settings. So, all right, dude, let's go with frames per second, man. Okay, so generally speaking, everyone wants to try and push for the highest frames that they can possibly get, which, I mean, I understand. Everyone wants that, dude. Everyone wants high frames. But to be honest, in a unlimited sort of situation, dude, most likely, um, if you're experiencing any kind of jitter or just unsmoothness in general, dude, this is going to be the big factor. So unlimited, I mean, is cool. It keeps your GPU pushing for something just constant, bro. Just something it can't, obtain. For smoothness, frame pacing, frame spikes, dude, it's definitely better to cap it at what feels relative to your computer. Okay? So for me and my setup, dude, I got an RTX card and Intel processor, dude. Um, so actually that's going to change also depending on what graphics card y'all have. But that being said, um, you kind of want to set the cap just slightly above what your hardware is already reaching. So whatever frames, if you're getting, if say you're getting, 112, 114 frames, bro, cap it at 120. You know what I mean? It gives the GPU an obtainable goal. It's not on, 100 miles an hour all the time, and you'll see a lot more stable frames. Rather than shoot high, then drop low, then shoot high, then drop low, dude, just cap it and, you know, let it be a little bit more stable. That will only help with smoothness when panning the camera, when, moving to populated areas. And like I noticed in PALs, um, you know, if you have a lot of stuff going on at your base and things like that, that's when the lag happens the most, dude. Bunch of monsters, bunch of stuff going on, different processes, dude. That's when lag spikes occur and stuff. So definitely cap your frame rate, dude. If you can't hit the 120 or you're nowhere near 120, dude, just drop it one. I mean, again, you know, everyone likes the look of a higher number, dude, but I mean, here's where you have to pick. Do you want stable and smooth, or do you want to look at the high number? That's where we're at, right? Um, Motion blur, dude. I'm a big hater of motion blur. Don't like it at all. It's the first thing I turn off in any game. Camera shake goes along with that, man. So for me, I want clarity when I pan my camera, dude. I don't want any kind of smear, blur, fuzziness, none of that, dude. Turn all that off. Okay? Now, anti-aliasing, dude, this is going to be the section that differs depending on what graphics card you have. I got an NVIDIA graphics card, so I rock the DLSS. If you have an AMD, or something else, then you're not going to have that option, dude. You're going to have to go between, uh, you know, I think this one offers, well, let's just check real quick, right? You got FXA, TAA, and TSR. TSR is the best one, dude, and honestly, the presets put it in line. So this is going to be the same thing. Well, it's going to be similar to DLSS on quality, right? And then this would be more balanced, this would be performance, and then, of course, off, right? But for me and for all of us that have the NVIDIA graphics card, dude, you'll want to go down here, okay? Now, these are big ones, man, because naturally we want the best visuals, but the higher you go, the more performance hit, clearly, right? And so my suggestion, start off somewhere in the middle, dude. Balanced is a good one. Start off unbalanced. Adjust your other settings. See where you're at. If you're getting good frame rates, and good smoothness, dude, bump it up from there, right? Um, so frame gen, dude. Um, frame gen is sort of the new thing to our era, and it's great when you need it and stuff, and it enables you know options for lower graphics card that in the past wouldn't even be an option, right? Although I'll be honest, I tend to stay away from frame gen if I can, and even if I have to use it, then I keep it low. Frame gen is going to take your existing frames and either double it, triple it, or quadruple it, right? Well, at least for this game, right? But no matter what, it's going to add fake frames based on the amount of frames that you're currently getting. And the problem is that no matter what, your hardware is still getting the original frames. It's just using AI to duplicate more frames. So that's where the whole fake frames comes from. Now, that's great, and it helps us out and everything, but the problem is frame gen on itself creates, some visual artifacts, some jitters, stuff like that from frame gen itself, which would defeat the purpose of us working for the smooth settings, right? Now, keep in mind, you know, I'm trying to dial it in perfectly, bro. Smoothness matters to me a lot, and so some of this may not apply to y'all, and that's fine, bro. You know what I mean? But I, for one, am very picky when it comes to visuals, dude, and so that's why I'm, going into this for y'all, right? So, anyway, so frame gen, dude, um, definitely I would start off with slightly lower settings. If you have to go frame gen, bro, start, just at the lowest one, and that will look visually the best because it's the closest to the amount of real frames that you're actually getting, right? Um, so all that being said, dude, let's talk about these boys real quick. Now, once again, these are also going to depend on your hardware. Um, but I'm going to show you the difference in my opinion, the three biggest ones, which is going to be these three: view distance, grass details, and build and drawing distance. Now, these are heavy hitters, dude. Okay, so let's just start with grass details real quick. Grass details, man, is about clearly grass, dude. But it's, the foliage on the ground. It's how they look. Does it look real? Right. The amount of textures that goes into the grass. And to be honest, in a game like you're not focused on it, dude. So due to the amount of sort of you know increase in performance that it can potentially cause, um, if you don't have a high-end system, or even if you do, but you're just trying to save on some GPU headroom, some temps, stuff like that, bro. There's nothing wrong with rocking this at low, dude. You know what I mean? It would give you a surprising, um, you know, gain to your current setup, right? So that's grass details. Now, view distance and build and drawing distance, bro. These are actually huge. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? So view distance and building drawing distance, man, is basically how far you can see in game without redrawing, right? So check it out, right? Well, first of all, y'all see that smoothness? This is what I'm talking about. Nice and smooth, dude. Okay. But, so, got home base in the background, right? And you see how far you can see, right? View distance at max, okay? Now, you take those off. Let's go at the lowest setting. Watch this. Bam. Right? Alright, so that's the difference, dude. Right? See my pals floating in the air, bro. Okay? So the deal is that, you know, these on their lowest setting clearly doesn't let you see as far, and it's going to redraw right in front of you. Right? Bam. Right? So, look, it even erases some of the castle as far as you get away. Right? Now, I know it's not as cool and you don't get to see, you know, as far and stuff, but if you're having jitter problems, fluctuating problems, stuff like that, it is better to lower these settings. And then I'll let y'all go. Let's check out what medium looks like, bro. Sorry about the mechanical keyboard. I mean, I get it, but just bear with me. Yeah, look, medium's really not even that bad, bro. Okay? Let's see how far medium goes. Bro, medium's not that bad at all, dude. Right? So, in fact, due to the cost, man, you might want to just consider throwing it on medium, bro, and leaving it. I mean, if you can, you know, see structures and everything this far away, dude, you're doing fine, bro. Yeah, actually, that's pretty surprising to be quite honest. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so, look, that's the distance right there, dude. Right? That's not horrible. That's not a constant redraw on your face, dude. You know, that's what I would consider to be an acceptable distance, especially if your game is nice and smooth at those settings, right? So that's about all I got for y'all. Hopefully this helped, man. Y'all have a good day, bro.